my name is Matthew Kay, and I'm here at BrickCan 2015 with the coordinators of BrickCan, a new LEGO convention which will be happening near Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, here in 2016. And we kind of want to get a little bit of an eye into what this event's all about, some of the things that are going to be taking place, and the history about why this event's happening. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of talk to Robin here. And Robin, could you give me a little bit of a backstory about the event, like why it's happening, the people involved with it, all that stuff?
Well, if you like BrickCan, and I know we all love BrickCan.
We love BrickCan.
We live 2.5 hours north of BrickCan, and the Canadians come down here in drove. They have every year. I've missed only one BrickCan, and we just wanted to reproduce that experience in Vancouver and give it a Canadian flavor. So that's really the sum total of the whole thing. So if you like BrickCan, you got to come up to Vancouver, and a lot of people want to see Vancouver. Vancouver's a gorgeous city, and right now, of course, our dollar's 30%
This is very
cheaper.
True. Yes, yes.
So it's a really cheap holiday for everybody. But that's the basic. There's 3 clubs up there that are kind of hosting it. We got VLC in Vancouver, we got Vic Lug in Victoria, and Abbey Lug near Vancouver. So, you know, we've been brewing this for many years and thinking we got to make something happen. And this was the year. So we just pulled the trigger and we're making it happen.
And so one of the great things about BrickCan is the kind of community behind the event and the sort of involvement that so many people have in making the event run successful. And I guess we're kind of living in a time where there's just more and more LEGO events every year. But it's really awesome to see kind of a group of hardcore fans kind of come together and sort of execute an event such as this one. BrickCan, to the best of my knowledge, is kind of a lot like this, right? There's a big community that's kind of gathered here to put this event on, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we get to get John in on the game here. John definitely is a Vic Lugger originally, now in Vancouver. We've got the president of the VLC here, the Vancouver Club, so they can probably talk about what their club kind of feel about BrickCan is.
Sure. So, John, why don't you give a little bit of a synopsis about club involvement here at BrickCan?
Right, so I'm from Victoria originally, so I was part of Vic Lug, and then 3 years ago moved to Vancouver and got involved with them, so it's kind of a bridge between the two, and then Abbey Lug started about the same time, so kind of in between all 3 clubs. So we want to really include all 3 clubs, all very heavily involved, and then draw from the Squatch Lug and Sea Lug and all the other clubs as well we want to have involved. Sort of like all the banners you see on the wall here at BrickCan, we want to have the same.
All the people kind of repping.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, talk about like the kind of displays that we can maybe see here at BrickCan. What kind of layouts are we going to be looking at?
Well, we got a theater venue, so it's an interesting shape, and there's two floors on the outside, plus a theater space inside. So we'll have the similar sort of themes and everything to what you see here at BrickCan. Just kind of smaller for the first year, but we hope to expand afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. And now maybe someone, you kind of decide amongst yourselves real quick, but as far as games go, I know AFOLs are very big fans of all kinds of building challenges, stuff like that. What kind of games will we be seeing here at BrickCan?
We're super excited about the games. We want to have, some of the classic games that the AFOLs really enjoy, but we want to throw a little bit of a Canadian twist in there on some of them. Don't want to give too much away right now because have some surprises, but there's a couple stereotypical, maybe Canadian things that we can put in there that make it a little more fun.
And now talk a little bit more about the Canadian influence, because I know there's a lot of American cons, but I believe BrickFest Toronto is the only big kind of con that's kind of going on in Canada right now. What other Canadian influences might be kind of cropping into the event? Is that going to be prevalent at all?
Well, there's a lot of lugs forming across Canada. They're getting bigger now. I'm actually a member of the Saskatchewan LEGO Users Group, although I now have a foothold in BC as well. We've been coming down from Saskatchewan for years to come to BrickCan, and we just love it. And so we're making the distance a little shorter for those guys. They're going to come and be a part of BrickCan in Vancouver. So.
Awesome. And I think we've talked a little bit about the venue, but the venue is absolutely fantastic from what I hear, right?
Yeah, it's pretty high-end, it's very premium, and it's all integrated, so the hotel and the display space is in the same area, so you can walk actually off your plane into the airport, onto the light transit, take 3 stops, get off of the train, over the walkway into the venue.
So readily accessible, very easily accessible.
And you can walk back out of the venue onto the train and be at the LEGO store 3 stops later, or right downtown Vancouver. Okay. So it's very accessible.
Okay.
And driving up from the States, it's also right off the highway without really going into town, so it's accessible from all modes of transportation.
And then as far as dining options go, I know AFOLs love to kind of go to dinner together. Are there a lot of options for that?
In the venue, there's about 5 or 6 different restaurants and a food court as well inside the venue, and then very accessible nearby, there's many other options. Yeah.
Awesome.
Casino, Matt. It's a casino.
A casino.
So it's very kid-friendly, very family-friendly venue, but they've got tons of food. We've got 3 bars. They're open till dark 100.
Sure.
As far as the kids go and families, we really hope that kids will come up and families make a weekend of it, do a day at BrickCan, and then do a day somewhere else at Science World or Grouse Mountain or Whistler. But we've got the pool complex is fantastic. There's a water slide. It's brilliant.
So it's like a family kind of fun resort, and you're just adding a Lego thing to that.
So there's something for mom and dad if they want to play a little slots or some craps. And there's the BrickCan thing, there's the pool. We've got, again, the train is close to everything. You drive up from the States, park your car, and you won't even have to touch it until you leave. So it's a really, really good location.
And now something else I kind of really want to touch upon is panels and sort of maybe ideas for discussions on this kind of stuff like that. Keynote, perhaps. Could you maybe shed a little bit of light on what we might be seeing in that regard?
We're going to keep that secret at this point. But
okay.
Yeah, we're going to do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. We love BrickCon. So the type of stuff we love at BrickCon, that's definitely one of the things we love. But it's the after party stuff.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that happens when people are getting lunch, the stuff that happens at the off hours, the morning get-togethers, the off-site stuff. That's what we really want to capitalize on too. Vancouver's a great spot. We've got all kinds of wonderful things to see.
Beautiful city, yes.
Beautiful city, craft beer,
Yeah.
fantastic, better Chinese food.
Amazing coffee, yeah.
Amazing coffee, better Chinese food than China. I mean, it's brilliant. So all of those things we want to be able to provide as a venue for people to have a lot of fun with their friends that they're making online and they know online. And so we just want to be the hub of that. But we know that BrickCon is so much about so much more than just what happens here in this room. So that's BrickCan.
You got it. So it sounds like it's an incredibly endearing group of individuals, a wonderful event. You sound like you have a lot of awesome stuff sort of on the books for the spring next year. So wonderful event, guys.
It's basically BrickCon with more A.
BrickCon with more A. BrickCan. Very nice, guys. Very nice. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thanks a lot.